afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making some refried beans. It's a very it's a traditional Mexican dish, popular in South America, high in protein as usual. Here I do plant-based cooking videos every week. So today we're going to be making this. It's a great side. So for all you guys looking for like this high protein plant-based, just follow along and let's get to cooking. So to start, we're going to boil our beans. Because I'm using dried beans, these need to be cooked. I soaked them overnight, which is going to speed up the process. I highly suggest you using dried beans instead of canned for flavor. We're going to add some olive oil to the water. And I'm going to be adding some thyme as well. If you don't have this kind of thyme, you can just use the regular loose leaf. I'm also using some coconut milk to add extra flavor. You will see how this play out in the end. And to season our beans, I'm adding a tablespoon of brown sugar and a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. Now, once the water starts to boil, we're going to add our beans. As I mentioned before, it's best to use the dried beans because we're going to be adding this liquid back to the refried beans. Now, while we're waiting on our beans to cook, we're just going to start the seasoning to fry our beans. So I'm just cutting up some onions. I want to cut up some garlic, and I'm using sweet onions, but you could use regular onions if you have, whichever one works. I'm just adding some black pepper to this as well. No specific measurement, it's up to you. We're going to add half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of oregano. All right, so the beans are cooked because they were soaked overnight, so it only took 25 minutes to cook the beans. To fry the beans, I'm going to start off with some olive oil. I'm going to be using some green seasoning as well. I won't go into too much detail. I'll put the link up. I did a video showing how I did this step by step, but essentially it is just a bunch of different vegetables blend together to make this seasoning. So next step, so we essentially just cooking this down for about 6 minutes. So I'm just making sure green seasoning is cooking, and then you're going to go in with your onion and garlic mix. Again, it varies. So I have this on medium heat. So you just want to fry down onions. So next step is to add our beans to our seasoning. So you just want to pour it in. You want to make sure like the beans are thoroughly coated in the seasoning because that's where the flavor is going to come from. So you're just going to basically stir this together for a few minutes until it's fully coated and fried. Your next step now is just to mush the beans with a potato masher or whatever you have at your disposal, but you just want to mash it down thoroughly within the seasoning. And here's where the liquid comes in. So you can add extra salt if you want to, but here, because I saved my liquid, I'm going to add that for flavor. So the beans are pretty much done. What I'm doing here, I'm just adding more liquid to it to get the consistency I want. So this is where you would taste it and you would add extra liquid if you have that or extra seasoning, but you're just going to keep stirring it. All right, everyone, thank you for following along. So our refried beans are done, as you can see. Pretty good. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, like this is a very diverse dish. You can use it as your main, as a side, but where I do find like it's very useful is as a dip. So I'm going to be having this with some broccoli and some air fried plantain. So yeah, guys, like try this. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. Let me know what you think. And as usual, I'll have a video next week. See you then.